Today we want to take some long exposure photography with our GoPro Hero 10 here in London. We're going to share some camera gear, settings, and of course, tips. In terms of gear, of course, we want our GoPro Hero 10, a tripod that could be a small tripod as you see right here, but also a bigger tripod and a bit more solid. You need extra batteries because with long exposure photography, the batteries run down in no time. And also you will need some ND filters. The ND filters I'm using today are from Freewell, so go check them out on freewell.com. Time to check the settings on our GoPro Hero 10. So we want to go to modes and go to photo mode. You want to go to night photo at the end. And we're going to customize it now. So to customize it, you press on it and you click on the little pen on the side. The first thing we do is to go to output, because from this option, others will depend. And we want to choose RAW. Now, when you are in RAW, the only lens available will be the wide. In terms of shutter, that's something we can decide for each photo. So we just scroll down and we don't want any schedule capture, but we want the timer to be 3 seconds. And this is because our shutter speed, as we mentioned, is very slow. And as soon as we touch the camera, we will notice the shakiness in the shot. So if we set up the timer, we will have 3 seconds after we press the shutter to let the camera go and start rolling. So there will be no movement on our device. We scroll down and we go to white balance, and you need to set this for each shot as well. So you just need to do it accordingly to the light conditions. And in terms of ISO minimum, go to 100. And we do the same with the ISO max, go to 100, so there will be no change of exposure. Sharpness low, because we can work with that in post-production, and color flat. That's something we want to color grade later. And that's all in terms of settings. So let's go back and we're ready almost to shoot. In nighttime, the long exposure photography works really well with lights, and that's what we're trying to capture with some cars and a bus. Shutter speed to 20 seconds and the temperature is 3200. Place the camera on the tripod, find a nice angle, and then we wait for a bus and press the shutter button. Now here's my advice, always use manual settings, also the shutter, but if you don't know what you're doing, especially the first times, there's an auto mode in the shutter, so try that and see how it works out. Otherwise, just try a few times, take a few photos, and you will find the right shutter speed for your shot. I was using the filter ND8 to reduce the amount of light hitting the sensor, but once again, for each shot you need to maybe change the filter. For example, if you want to achieve long exposure during the day, you might need an ND1000 that can reduce the amount of light of 10 stops. During the day, of course, it will be more difficult to capture the light, but we can still use long exposure to capture water, for example, fountains, waterfalls, streams, and also clouds, vehicles, and people moving around. Also, if you have a portable light, as I do, you can play with it. So you keep your long exposure and you can draw with the light. This is a shot. Now we can do another thing, which is placing ourselves into shot for a wonderful YouTube thumbnail. Now, as we shot in RAW files, which gain more data, we are able to color grade the photos as we like. And that's how you take long exposure photography on the GoPro Hero 10. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button. I will see you in the next one.